Your Lord did not forbid you this tree. Even though Adam and Eve, they know that Allah told them, do not get near this tree and do not eat from it. But the shaitan and the Iblis went to them. And there is no really authentic narration or a story that I have read that it says that Eve ate first. So we cannot put the blame on the women. That's how the Islam came fair. As the people of the book, they believe that Eve ate first, then Adam ate. Allah doesn't say in the Quran that. فَأَكَلَا مِنَ الشَّجَرَةِ Both of them have eaten from the tree. We don't know Allah who ate first. Unless we stop by an authentic nas or a text from the Quran or the Sunnah. Your Lord did not forbid you this tree, save that you should become angels or become of the immortals. And he swore by Allah, this is Iblis and the shaitan, he swore by Allah, verily, I'm one of the sincere well-wishers for you. I am advising you. I'm the well-wisher from you. Eat from this tree. SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters, now think about this. Just give an example. You are in a garden, and there are thousands of trees and blessings around that you can eat from. But there is that one tree where Allah told you not to eat from. The shaitan can make you eat from it. You know, understand this point with me. How powerful the shaitan can be. If he did it to Adam, yes, it's with the qadr of Allah. This was a test from Allah. Cannot argue about that. It's in the Quran. But what about us as normal human beings? When the shaitan is trying to make you do things that Allah doesn't want us to make or to do. That's what brothers call a struggle against your desire. And that's the highest level of what we call in Arabic jihad. It's the jihad of the nafs. You're struggling against your desire. That's what the true meaning of jihad. When the shaitan comes to you and he wants you to do certain things that Allah doesn't want us to do, and you don't do it, and you control yourself and your cravings, and you do not do it, you are a mujahid. And you receive the great reward. Allah will reward you for that. Allah has made it haram, the things that we know. But you hear these things in your ear and your heart is telling you, just do it, you're going to be fine. You're going to repent. And He takes you step by step. The shaitan, brothers and sisters, we have to understand him because he's our first enemy. Allah says in Surah Yasin, أَلَمْ أَعِدْ إِلَيْكُمْ يَا بَنِي آدَمْ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا الشَّيْطَانَ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ وَأَنِ اعْبُدُونِي هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ وَلَقَدْ أَضَلَّ مِنْكُمْ جِبِلًّا كَثِيرًا. Allah says in the Quran, all mankind, I have a promise for you. Do not worship the shaitan. Allah said worship. If you obey the shaitan, meaning you're worshiping him. Do not obey the shaitan, but worship me. The shaitan is your enemy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the majority of you will be misled. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions many times in the ayah in the Quran that He says the majority. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Many of them do not know. Many of them will enter hellfire, will sacrifice Allah from that. Allah always mentions the majority in the Quran. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us Jannah. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sin. Astaghfirullah. Innahu wal ghafurur rahim. Brothers, can you please come forward, inshallah? Get close to each other. Get close to each other. Don't leave gaps between. Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Then the shaitan have said in Surah Taha, هل أدلكم على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. He said to Adam and Eve, and he's whispering to them, and luring them to eat from this tree, and he told them, don't I lead you to shajarat al-khuld, a tree, it will give you immortality. You will never die. You will never end. You will never disintegrate. Always a happy life. This tree, if you eat from it. وَمُلْكٍ لَا يَبْلَى. And the kingdom, you will be kings and queen. That will never end also. So we had Lord, our mother and father, with two things. Two things. Immortality and wealth. Or kingdom, kingship. High status and high level of life. You name it however you want. Those two things that we struggle ourselves in this dunya. That Allah has called dunya because it's from the dunu. It's always in the bottom, that's why it's dunya. Immortality, we think that we're going to be living forever. Now you hear nowadays that somebody is 50, oh, he's still young. He's in middle age. He's still young, he's 50. Still have a long life, mashallah. You can worship Allah. You were very young, you're 20. Wait until you get 40, then grow your beard. Wait until you get 50, then worship Allah. We hear these things from some ignorant people. We ask Allah to guide them, to guide the Muslims and the youth, and to show them the sirat al-mustaqim. And that's from the shaitan, brothers and sisters. This is the methodology of the shaitan. He wants you to think that you're going to live forever. But what the Prophet ﷺ is telling us about death, it's near you than your shoelaces. Anybody can die any moment. What Allah ﷺ says, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run to Allah. Run to Allah. Always do the fast things for the akhirah and take your time for the things that have to do with the dunya. The third step, brothers and sisters, is salsal min hama'in masnoon. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ وَالْجَانَّ خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ. And indeed, we created man from dried clay of altered mud. And the jinn, we created them before from smokeless flame of fire. At the third step. The fourth step, al-fakhar. The fourth step is al-fakhar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ كَالْفَخَّارِ وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِنْ مَارِجٍ مِنْ نَارٍ. Translated as, He created man from sounding clay, like the clay of pottery or pottery. Then Allah, the jinn, Allah has created them from a smokeless flame of fire. The thing, brothers and sisters, the point I want to make in this khutbah is hastefulness. Hastiness. The urgency that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put inside Adam alayhi salam. Allah said in the Quran, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. That the mankind was created from hastiness. Doesn't mean it was created from hastiness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put that natural instinct inside him. That is why the other hadith, Allah Prophet said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam from the state of fakhar. And they left him there for almost 40 years. And the shaitan was looking at him. And the shaitan tried to get into his mouth. And it comes out from the back. When the shaitan saw Adam alayhi salam, he had foramens or empty hole in his things, such as the mouth, the nose. He said, إِنَّ هَذَا عَبْدٌ لَا يَتَمَالَكْ نَفْسَهُ. That this man will be a man that is not going to tolerate himself. That's what the shaitan has said. Before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put the soul in Adam alayhi salam. Before that he knew. Because we have empty holes. You know we are going to be weak. The hadith of Anas, The Prophet ﷺ said, لما خلق الله آدم جعل الشيطان يطوف به فلما رآه أجوف قال إنه عبد لا يتمالك. That's the nas of the hadith. It's Sahih Muslim and Musnad Ahmad. That when Allah has created Adam, and Iblis, he saw Adam, that he has foramens, empty hearts, such as the mouth, the nose. Iblis said, and the shaitan said, that this servant of Allah, he called him Abd, servant of Allah, he will not tolerate himself. Meaning he will have cravings, he will have desires. And that is why Iblis made the Prophet to Allah that will come in front of them, and behind them, and on the right, and on the left. وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. And many of them will not be grateful, because He knows that we will be weak. Allah says in the Quran, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, that the insan, the mankind, were created weak. We're created weak. But if you think about it, and you really read the Quran and understand it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says also about the shaitan, in the case of shaitan, كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. Also the shaitan is weak. But the shaitan is weak for who? For everybody, every believer, for the strong believers, brothers and sisters. How would we beat the shaitan? That's the question. With the book of Allah, with the a'mal, with the deeds. Always the book of Allah in your heart. There is a reason why Prophet ﷺ has taught us the remembrance of Allah in the mornings, the remembrance of Allah at night. What do we say before we go to the bathroom? What do we say before we go to bed? How many Muslims knows this hadith? And those dua, very important, brothers and sisters. So the shaitan will not be able to beat us and defeat us. And we will not be from those who he said, وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are grateful for Allah has given us, and we will beat him and defeat him with knowledge. How come we are going to defeat the shaitan if we do not know the characteristics of the shaitan, the methodology of the shaitan? What does the Prophet ﷺ teach us? How we defeat the shaitan if we are not going to seek knowledge, brothers and sisters? Seek knowledge and know our deen. And when we read the book of Allah, which is the light and the true power, from the Fatiha until the Nas, we understand it. And we read the exegesis, not just reading it with our tongue and our heart is somewhere else. We're not going to defeat the shaitan like that. And he was going to drag us with him, as he made the promise to Allah. He made the promise to Allah. He made the promise to Allah. So we have to break this promise that he made by making ourselves strong, praying on time. Some people are just struggling by praying on time, which is a major sin, not to pray on time. These certain things that we think they're small, but they're not, because that's how the shaitan goes with us, with the small things. Small things. Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ خُلِقَ هَلُوعًا إِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ جَزُوعًا وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الْخَيْرُ مَنُوعًا إِلَّا الْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ دَائِمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, verily man was created very impatient. Very impatient. Allah has created us. Natural instinct in us. Now, irritable, discontented, when evil touches him. When the shaitan touches you, when the evil touches you, Allah is saying, you are going to be discontented. You are going to be miserable, because that's how He wants to make you. And miserably and stingy when the good touches you. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. But we have to be grateful and thankful, so the shaitan will not be able to defeat us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the shaitan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to protect our families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to seek more knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen our iman. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت
وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا سوء وشر ما قضيت. اللهم نعوذ بك ربنا من شرور أنفسنا، اللهم نعوذ بك ربنا من شر كل ذي شر. اللهم جنبنا الشيطان، اللهم جنبنا الشيطان، اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا. لا إله إلا سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. ربنا ظلمنا